Welcome to Are You Smarter Than a 12th Grader? Twin Edition. Today we have a lovely contestant by the name of Gary Tucker. Gary Tucker, how are you today?
I'm pretty good today, John. I'm feeling confident.
Alright, so there are 9 rounds, 9 questions in each round, calculus based. You're going to answer each one, and every time you get a question right, you move on to the next round. We're going to see if you can make it all the way. But here's the thing, we're going to have some guests, some twins, to help you along your way. So if you're having trouble, you can get them and have some help. We have 3 sets of twins today, and their names are Ruben and Steuben. We have Fred and Ted. And then we have Brad and Thad. It's a great group of kids out there, and they're ready to show their stuff. So, out of all those choices, who do you want to be your first contestant with you?
Well, I had a good friend back in middle school named Stu, so I'm gonna go with Steuben.
It's a great choice. Steuben, come on out here.
Hey.
Alright, so, just get to know you. Where are you from?
Well, John, I'm from a small city in Nebraska. It's called Panama. Probably have never heard of it.
I have not heard of that before. Alright. So, Gary, pick your first category you want to do.
I'm gonna have to go with fundamental theorem of calculus.
Alright, are you up for the challenge?
You bet your fancy mustache I am, John.
The velocity of a car on the highway is calculated at Vx equals 60 plus 20x to the 2.6 miles per hour. What is the total displacement after 3 hours? Alright, Gary, you think you got it?
I think so, John. I'm pretty confident with my answer.
Alright, let's see what he got.
First, a graph was drawn to illustrate the function from 0 to 3 hours. Next, the function was integrated and put into correct form with the right labels. The 2 x values were substituted in to the integrated function, 3, and then subtracted from 0 to give the final answer in miles.
Alright, Gary, you are correct for your answer. Good job, guys.
Thanks.
Alright, moving on to round 2. Pick your next category.
Implicit differentiating looks pretty fun.
Alright, let's get into it. The question is 4x squared plus 5y squared x plus 13y equals 21.
John, I'm having some difficulty with this one, and I'm not really sure about my answer.
Alright, you can use either a peek, copy, or save. So do you want to use one of those right now?
I think I'm gonna go with a peek and see what my dear friend Steuben has.
Okay, you can definitely do that.
First, the derivative of each term was taken. 4x squared using the power rule turns into 8x. 5y squared x using the product rule turns into 10y y prime x plus 5y squared. 13y using the power rule turned into 13y prime. Since 21 was a constant, it was 0. Remember that the derivative of y is a composition, so there's always a y prime with it. Next, y prime was put on the same side to factor them out. The quantity left was then divided to the other side to get the y prime by itself, thus giving us the final answer.
Alright, so are you going to go with this final answer?
Yeah, you got the same thing, so I'm gonna stick with it.
Alright, and it looks like you got it right. Good job, Gary.
Yes. Way to carry the team, Stu.
Alright, Steuben, I'm sorry, but you can only go for 2 questions, so we're going to have to ask you to leave. And Gary, you need to think of who you want to pick next. So, out of the twins, there is Ruben left. Fred and Ted, or Brad or Thad? You can pick either one.
I'm gonna go with Thad.
Thad, alright. Come on out here, Thad. welcome. We are on to the third round. You've got past 2. Can you go for 3?
I hope so.
All right, you got to pick your next category now.
Alright, derivative note cards. I was pretty good at those back in the day.
All right, so for the next one, you have to.
You will have 60 seconds to do the 19 derivative flashcards.
Y prime equals cosine x, y prime equals negative sine x, y prime equals secant squared x, y prime equals negative cosecant x squared x, y prime equals secant x tangent x, y prime equals e to the x, y prime equals 1 over x, y prime equals b to the x, natural log of b, y prime equals nx to the n minus 1, y prime equals u prime v minus uv prime all over v squared, y prime equals u prime v plus uv prime, f prime of x equals h prime g of x times g prime of x, y prime equals negative cotangent x cosecant x, y prime equals 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared, y prime equals negative 1 over the square root of 1 minus x squared, y prime equals 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1, y prime equals negative 1 over the absolute value of x times the square root of x squared minus 1, y prime equals 1 over 1 plus x squared, y prime equals negative 1 over 1 plus x squared.
Wow, Gary, you really did that in a flash. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, my teacher taught me well.
You are moving on to round 4. All right. So for round 4, what's your next category? You can choose any ones that's left.
I'm going to go with related rates.
All right, let's get to it. A 25-foot ladder is propped up against a wall. Someone begins to pull away the ladder at 2 feet per second. After 4 seconds, at what rate is the top of the ladder falling down the wall? All right, Gary. There you go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's see what you put.
First, a picture was drawn to represent the ladder leaning against the wall. It was labeled accordingly. X for the distance the ladder is from the wall, y for the height of the ladder on the wall, and 25 is the height of the actual ladder. The Pythagorean theorem was then used to find y because x was already known. Once y was found, the derivative of the Pythagorean theorem was taken. The known values were plugged into the equation to find the final answer.
All right, Gary, you got it. Nice job. You are 4 for 4.
Yes.
All right. So, Thad, your time here on the show is done. We're ready to go on to our next 12th grader. So if you can just leave. All right, just leave. Just go. Get out of here. All right, yeah.
That guy.
All right. So, Gary, I say we need another 12th grader with you. So, what's left is Ruben, Fred, and Ted or Brad. Who do you want to pick?
Fred.
All right, Ted. Fred?
Fred.
Fred. Come on, Fred. Come on out here.
It's Fred, right? That's Fred.
Yeah, that's Fred.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. All right. You guys know each other. Guess they know each other. All right. So we are on the 5th round, Gary. Are you ready for the 5th round?
If it goes all like the first 4, I think I got it.
Pick your next category.
Why not pick the hardest one? Integration.
All right. Integration. Here's the question. You have to integrate 5x to the 4th plus x to the 3rd divided by 2 plus 5x squared plus 3x plus 10 dx. Alright, Gary, are you ready to show us your answer?
Yeah.
Alright, let's look at it.
The power rule was used for each part in this equation. 5x to the 4th was raised to the 5th, then divided by 5. X to the 3rd divided by 2 was raised to the 4th, then divided by 4. 5x squared was raised to the 3rd, then divided by 3. 3x was raised to the 2nd, then divided by 2. 10 was raised to the 1st, then divided by 1. There's a constant because the derivative of any constant is 0, thus giving us our final answer.
Gary, that is correct.
Yes! Woo! That's it, John.
Guess they like to hug. So, that's the 5th round. We are moving into the 6th round. Pick your category.
Log derivative.
Might be a tough one for you, but I think you can do it.
Alright.
Let's read that question. The question is, y equals x raised to the x. Alright, Gary. What'd you get?
Well, John, I got y prime equals x to the x, natural log of x plus x to the x.
The first step was to take the natural log of both sides. The power rule for logs say that x is allowed to move down in front. The derivative of both sides were taken. The left side was natural log derivative and the right side used the product rule. Y was then multiplied to the right side. The quantity x to the x was substituted in for y. X to the x was distributed to give us the final answer.
And you are correct. Congratulations, Gary. You're going on to the next round.
No, sorry.
We have one too many hugs on this episode. So, sorry, Fred or Ted. Sorry, what's your name again? Just get out. Alright, Gary, you've made it this far. I think you can go for more. We have 3 more questions for you. So, but first, actually, we need to pick another twin. Alright, what's left is Ruben, Ted, or Brad. Pick anyone you want. It's not that hard. 3 choices.
Ted.
Ted?
Final
Alright,
answer.
Ted's come on out here. Come on. Yeah, Ted. Alright, Ted, Gary. Alright, Gary, we are on to round 7. Pick your next question.
So what do we have left? Simpson's rule?
We have Simpson's rule, calculus definition.
The second
fundamental theorem of calculus.
Simpson's rule.
Alright, we are doing Simpson's rule. Here's the question. A man is pushing his tomato cart along a path for 18 minutes. The chart shows the velocity of the cart at 3-minute intervals at meters per minute. Use Simpson's rule to find the total meters traveled. Gary, do you have an answer?
I do actually.
Alright, let's see it on the board.
When there's an odd number of plots on the table, you can use Simpson's rule. It is estimated to equal 1/3 times the interval distance, all multiplied by the quantity of each v of t added together, but with the pattern of 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 1 put in front for each corresponding v of t as shown. This will give us our final answer in meters.
And you are correct, Gary.
Yes.
This is very impressive. I've not seen a guy go this far on this game show. Alright, you're on to the next question. Pick the category.
There's only 2 left, so I'm gonna have to go with the second fundamental theorem of calculus, John.
Alright, let's read the question.
Alright.
F of x equals the integration from pi over 2 to 4x cosine of t dt. Gary, are you satisfied with your work? So, let's see his answer.
The second fundamental theorem of calculus states that the derivative of the integral function is equal if f is a continuous function on an open interval. So this is true here, so the 4x is plugged into the function, and the derivative of the 4x has to be put in front to give us the final answer. This can be proven by following the work at the bottom using the first fundamental theorem of calculus.
And you are correct, Gary. Wow, good job.
Thanks. That was actually a hard question to.
It was indeed. All right, so move on to the next and final question. Are you going to be smarter than a 12th grader? If f is an integrable function, and if g of x equals the integral of f of x, then the integral from a to b of f of x dx equals g of b minus g of a.
Is it A, mean value theorem? Is it B, fundamental theorem of calculus? Is it C, the second fundamental theorem of calculus? Or is it D, the intermediate value theorem? So Gary, do you have your answer? I'm gonna go with B. You are correct. Woo! Good job, Gary. You are smarter than a 12th grader. You did it. Thank you for watching Are You Smarter Than a 12th Grader? Tune in next time.